In this video, I'm going to be discussing the meaning of Saturn and Scorpio in the birth chart. So if you have this placement, I want to welcome you. I would really encourage it if you would like the video so that it gets out to more people, and maybe share it if you find value from the information that I'm going to be presenting here. So first of all, Saturn is the Lord of Karma. He's the timekeeper. He makes sure that we are on our path, doing our due diligence and doing what we really signed up here to do, whether we remember it or not. Saturn is the archer, the grand elder who lays blocks of gold on the ground to make sure that our foundations are solid. Because if they're not solid, then where are we going to go from there? We have to establish foundations, and we have to establish a purpose for why we even signed up in this lifetime. And when we do, we have to be the ones to do the hard work, to go off on all platitudes, and to say to ourselves, I'm going to do it. And it's really about us being the ones who have to pull the weight, being the ones who have to put in the hard work and do our thing. Because if we're not willing to put in the hard work, why are we even here in the first place? That's a good question. And Saturn teaches us about the value of sticking to our plans, of saying something and then following through with it, of committing to whatever we say that we're going to commit to. And that's a very Capricornian thing. And there's something to appreciate with Capricorn energy. You know, they can set their mind on something and then they can put in all of their energy and care to achieve it. And there's something deeply nurturing about Capricornian energy that isn't, coddly or soft or those kind of things like that. It's a different kind of nurturing. It is about training you to be self-sufficient, inspiring and lighting a fire under you to have goals and stick to achieving those goals. So now we're going to delve into Saturn in Scorpio. So what does it mean if Saturn's in Scorpio? Well, the very, very first thing that comes to mind is a very intense placement. This placement is very intense. So there is a need here, if you have Saturn in Scorpio, to control others, to domineer others, to take center stage and reigns upon others. To have people doing exactly what you want them to be doing. If you have this placement, then you may feel the need to be in control of your environment and have people setting a section way and have people doing what they should be doing for you. Because there's, some manipulation that can lend itself here. So, manipulating others to give you what you want, to, for them to provide you the things that you need. It all comes down to embracing and exploring the deeper sides of life, getting to the bottom of mysteries, finding out what's really, really going beyond the superficial. And digging into mysteries in your environment, in your personal life, in your relationships, with the people involved in your life, whatever those mysteries may be. This is about going deep into your psychology, going deep into your soul to find out the real treasures and what's hidden there, and all of the peace and abundance and energy that lies within inside you, and to find the power inside of yourself, because we're not victims. We're all powerful one way or another. And Scorpio energy is all about harnessing that power and really using it to our advantage to carry out the deeds that we want and need to fulfill. So a couple things that come to mind is sex, death, and rebirth. So mastering how to have a good relationship that is healthy in a sexual way, how to do sex in a healthy way and not, sort of an unclean or underhand way. But to have healthy relationships that are within the arena of sex, because we can't talk about Scorpio without talking about something that we're not going to easily talk about at the dinner table. So, mastering how to have healthy relationships with the sexual organs in your bodies and having a healthy relationship with sex itself. And so Scorpio deals with all things that deal with purging in the body, elimination. So doing the things that are in the best and most healthiest interest for those organs to do their job is really, really important. Because Scorpio deals with, releasing what no longer works for you so that you can make space for something new. And that can show up in many forms: physical, emotional, spiritual, psychological. Um, and however that applies to you in your own life, that's really your own mat Tiat. Alrighty. So other themes with this placement is death and rebirth. So this cycle of death, rebirth, transformation over and over and over again is what you're here to master. Letting die what no longer works for you, what no longer holds any weight or carries any water for you anymore. Maybe it's something that you thought that you might wear one day, but you never worn it, and it's been many years, so now it's time to give that away. Maybe it is something else, a relationship, or some type of idea or grudge that you may have, that it's finally time to let that go so that you can be reborn. And so this whole theme of change and transformation and re-emerging from the ashes as someone brand new and someone whole and someone grounded and centered and someone evolved is really, really a key theme here that you may experience even on a day-to-day basis. This whole cycle may be something that is very visceral and very resonant and important to you in that way. So it's important to understand and have a strong sense of belief in the value of that kind of cycle, because that's just the flow of life. What comes in must go out. That you're not meant to hold on to everything that life has to offer. You are in this relationship, you're, having this thing, you're holding the subject, you're doing whatever it is. And then there comes a point when you must let it go and move on and be open to change and emerge as someone new. So you may have some talents and interests in occult topics, or just things like palm reading or Reiki or numerology or astrology, or spirituality. All these kind of things would be very appealing to someone with this placement to delve into, to dive deep into, not to go on the superficial, shallow route, but to dig into the depths of life in this way. So, um, I invite you to stop if you're just skimming the surface and you're not willing to go into the depths of life, because that's what Scorpio energy is all about. So astrology is a language from the cosmos. It's the stars really that tell us who we are and who we need to become and evolve and transcend into in this lifetime. And you really could be good at getting into someone's psychology and dispelling their genetic code given to them by their astrology chart, their sort of life path based off of their screenshot of their natal chart in the sky when they were born, and also the transits that they're having as they're going through their life, and how certain planets transiting in the sky at a current time meet up with their natal planets in certain alignments, squares, sextiles, trines, conjunctions, oppositions, and conjuncts, those kind of things like that. So, giving astrology readings, um, and getting involved with deep spiritual tools to understand ourselves and each other at a very, very deep personal and spiritual level. So again, it becomes very, very important to be open to transformation. So on the downside, people with displacement can be very intense. They can be mean or ruthless when it comes to how they are using their power. We want to make sure that we're using our power in the best of ways, that we're not abusing it, but we're using it for the highest good of all. We're using it to bring more people together, not tear more people apart. And we're really considering how we are using and harnessing our personal power. So resilience is another theme. You may have gone through many, many life experiences that may have been traumatic, or maybe a family member has some kind of trauma, or something like that, and you've had to develop a lot of resilience. Saturn is a malefic energy that doesn't give you it on a platter. It invites you, it tests you to see how you can grow, how far you can come. Can you latch onto that hook and pull yourself up to safety without anyone helping you? Saturn really wants to see how strong and how resilient you can be, and and with resilience comes scars, internal scars that stand for strength, that represent how strong you are because of how strong you have become in your life. So you may be withdrawn or hide your emotions away because it may be difficult to reveal and be honest and be vulnerable with those emotions, but it's very, very important to open those emotions up, opening up to others, connecting others to an emotional latch point, to connect with other people on an emotional level is really, really important, to open up emotionally. Um, that becomes a huge theme. And you may be secretive or secret keepers, or maybe you held in a lot of your feelings, a lot of your secrets inside because you don't want other people to see them or have them exposed and revealed, or do whatever it may be that might release your secret out into the world that you've been trying to keep under in bars. So you may be secretive, and you may also do your work in secret. Maybe you desire a career path that involves doing a lot of things, um, you know, in an introverted fashion, not so that it's like not an open kitchen where everyone can see you what you're doing, but doing what you do in your own room on your own terms independently and hidden away. Um, so you may not be too interested in the superficial. You may be interested in the depths of life. So another thing that's really important to remember is not to disrespect somebody with Saturn and Scorpio, because who knows, depending upon the aspects that Saturn is making in someone's natal chart, they might burn you to the ground with their words. They might cut you with, you know, your words, because wounds can heal, but words can leave a scar that never goes away. So it's really important not to disrespect the people and not to challenge the authority of the people who have Saturn and Scorpio, because of how intense their reactions and how intense their wrath may be when you push them to that breaking point, and you may get burned and get stung. Who knows if that's even true? It all depends on what's in your natal birth chart. Aside from your Saturn placement of the other placements in your natal chart. So it's all relative to that. Maybe they desire to go where no one else has dared to travel before. So they want to go beyond, they want to get to the depths. They're very loyal. When they say something, they mean it, and they're going to go after the things that they say to themselves that they're going to go after. They're very dependable towards the people that they love and that they care about. They're going to be there for them come hell or high water, and through all the trials and tribulations, through all that life has to offer. Um, and so, the best of times, the worst of times comes to play, and they are there. They are going to be the people that you can count on for sure to assist you, to care for you, to help you, to be there for you, and to lift you up, and for them to be there, and for them, for the people who have this placement, to understand the full spectrum of human emotions and to understand pain, um, and the weight that life has to carry, to be, because they can really be counselors and therapists that can sit with you in your darkest hour and be with you and understand what you're going through, understanding all of those deep and complicated and messy emotions. That they may be very supportive, and they're the people that you can count on when it comes to being there for you in a relationship. So they can really emerge like the phoenix in this lifetime, rising from the ashes, birthing themselves, the whole death or birth cycle over and over again. Um, and so maybe you've gone through some experiences in your life that test you in a lot of profound ways. Maybe you had family members that were controlling, that were, that had power over you, that took your power away from you, that demanded so much of you. So that could be a possibility. Um, and so it's wise to let go of, if there's anyone that hurt you or wronged you in your life, It's going to be a pearl of wisdom to release those grudges, no matter how hard that it stings, of what this person did to you, no matter how difficult and painful and upsetting and challenging it can be. It's important to release those grudges and those wounds and those hurts, because to carry them around in life is physically, emotionally exhausting. It's like you're climbing up a mountain with a huge pack of stuff, and it's better to just release that pack of stuff and leave it on the ground so that you can continue walking up the mountain without having that weight of what you have to carry on your shoulders. Because forgiveness sets you free from the burden that you're carrying, from the hurt that you're carrying, from the chip on your shoulder that you're just carrying around. It can be helpful to release that wound, and it can be helpful to just release that hurt in general. So people with displacement can be very unforgiving. If you wrong them, then they may not be the easiest people to forgive. But it's important for you to learn to forgive if you haven't yet, and understand the value of letting go. And that's again playing into this theme of death and rebirth. That's really prominent here. At best, if you have Saturn in Scorpio, you can be very, very committed and fixated towards going after what you're truly after and getting what you want. Saying something, having your mind set on a goal, and going to the ends of the earth to achieve that goal. Because that's, at the high road, that they're in it for the long term, that they're going to put all of their eggs in that basket. They're going to put so much energy and time and effort into achieving what they desire. So don't get in their way of doing that. So they can also be strategic when it comes to retribution. You can plan out strategies to, be vengeful or get revenge or destroy people at the lowest frequency of this placement. Maybe they can put a lot of energy and time into their professions. Maybe they can also look you in the eye, connect with you on a soul-to-soul level. And what is the definition of intimacy? But into me, I see, seeing somebody at the deepest level, connecting not through an ego or superficial or intellectual type of way, but in a way that is connecting in from one soul to the next, from one soul to the other soul, latching eyes and looking into those eyes to find the hidden answers and to find out who the people truly are when looking into their eyes, because Saturn and Scorpio wants to cut right down to the truth and the core of who you are, the real raw truth. That becomes super important here. And so it's also important for you to dig into your soul to find meaning and to find the purpose of why you were here, and to gain wisdom into your life. And that doesn't come from your ego, that comes from diving into your soul to find those answers. And it's all about finding peace within yourself, or an inner serenity. Finding that place within yourself that is serene, that is calm, that is here and now, that's present, that's willing to just look at the birds and watch them and see and hear and feel and taste and touch all there is to enjoy in life. So connecting with, really putting your peace foot in the door and dropping into your soul and dropping into your body. Doing things that can relieve stress, like meditation and yoga, is also an important thing here. So doing things that where you can feel inner peace is going to be important if you have this placement. Being open to growing as a soul, being open to evolving, anything that involves personal growth. Maybe there is some obsessive compulsive tendencies or behavior if you have displacement, washing your hands over and over again, or doing something that is obsessive compulsive. So it's very, very important to watch out for those tendencies, if that would resonate for you. Um, so this life really comes down to digging into your psychology, digging into your motives of why you do what you do and why other people do what they do. So digging into your psychology and digging into the psychology of other people. Digging into just how they tick, how they go about their life, how they function, how they run and operate their life. It's also important to understand your triggers, understand what sets you off, what causes you to react, what irritates you, what makes your skin crawl, what gets you angry, what your passions, what lights you on fire, what makes it so that you can't just sit by the sidelines, that you have to act, that you have to take action and take initiative in some way or another. So it's important to know yourself at that deep level, to understand those parts of yourself, to have compassion for those parts of yourself, understanding your triggers. So maybe this could also be battling addictive tendencies that can be destructive, smoking, drinking, or other compulsive tendencies. So being very mindful, not letting those tendencies get out of control, but reining them in, and maybe seeking help if you need help with dealing with those things, those addictions, those destructive habit patterns, whatever they might be for you. Maybe it's a good idea to go into counsel and into therapy to discuss what's going on for you emotionally, psychologically, internally, to talk about it, to to release it, and to just be with someone and let them know what you're going through, and to open up to other people in emotional ways, to be real and raw with them, to be vulnerable with them, to connect with them on an emotional level. And so it's going to be really important. Something that is a talent or a positive perk with this placement is really being with people in the toughest of times and counseling them through their pain. You could also work as a psychic medium, that career where you're tuning into the aura and the energy of other people. Maybe financial wealth. You could have a lot of financial wealth that is inherited money or shared resources, that you get from family members or other people alike. You may be very resourceful, knowing how to use your resources to achieve something, to get something done, to really get something out of the way, and to go after what you desire, to organize, to plan something out to achieve your goals. Could also make great investigators, getting to the truth of things, digging into those things like that. So that can be a real strong suit, because when it comes to Saturn and Scorpio, it's all about what lies in the depths. And, well, what is the truth? So that is my take on Saturn and Scorpio. I hope that you found value out of this video. Please consider subscribing to this channel. Go deep. Be willing to feel all those deep emotions, and maybe the dark emotions, and be the phoenix that truly rises from the ashes. Bye for now.